is the difference between just surviving and actually scaling. The best companies don't guess. They don't hope. They train, they track, and they close. That's why I created the Paint for America Mastermind, a complete sales system built by a painting contractor who's done over 15,000 residential sales appointments. Inside, you'll get over 100 bite-sized training videos, proven scripts, objection handling, and a full playbook to turn your team into confident, consistent closers. We've made it simple with 3 membership levels, silver, gold, and platinum, so no matter where you're at, there's a path forward. And to help you get started, I'm offering a free 30-minute consultation call and a 10-day free trial of the training videos for you and your team. If you're ready to stop quote and hope and start running a professional, repeatable sales system, then email me at mark@mdfpainting.com with Sales Superstar in the subject line. Let's build your sales machine together. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mark. So guys, again, Mark offering his time. He's very, very well known in this space. Runs a highly successful painting company, sales guru, offering you a 10-day free trial, 30-minute strategy session with him for free. Email him at mark@mdfpainting.com. Subject line, Sales Superstar. Mark, brother, thanks for joining us, man.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. I appreciate you.
Let's do it, brother.
Perfect.
So guys, we are live with Mark. If you have questions, so Mark has been teaching sales. He's been running sales. I would argue he's one of the most successful and best salespeople that I've ever met in my life. If you have questions on sales, I want you to put it into the chat right now. Mark, I'd like to kick off with a question if you're up for that.
Sure.
So we got 10 minutes with Mark. Mark, what's the most common mistake? I guess the most common mistake you see with people making with sales, either how they think about it or how they execute?
I think from an owner standpoint, maybe the tendency to hold on to the sales position themselves and to be the person who feels like they have to go out and get all the work is probably the biggest bottleneck that I see again and again when I talk to painting contractors that get up to about the 1.5 to 1.7 million mark. It seems like their hands are directly in sales in many, many cases. And they just are slow to deciding that they want to build a sales team. I think that deciding to have a sales team and starting the process of building that within their company is the only way to really permanently get out of the bottleneck.
Let me ask you this, because I've personally faced this. You know, you're selling so much. It feels good in the beginning. Jason Phillips talked about, it feels so good. You're hustling. I'm a major salesman. Look at me. Eventually it becomes kind of overwhelmed, right? You get enough and you realize there are not enough hours in the day. There's not enough of you to continue to scale. But you look at this, what seems like a major obstacle, like, hey, how do I go from now I finally learned how to sell to hiring and training a sales team? That seems like a big divide. What do you recommend for people kind of looking at that, maybe a little intimidated?
So for one, you have to have a real system that is quantifiable, that can be plug and play, and that you can teach your salespeople so that everyone is doing it the same way with every possible prospect. Just like when you paint a house, you wouldn't prep this house a certain way and then prep this other house with a different crew a totally different way. You follow certain rules and certain operating, standard operating procedures. It's the same thing in sales. So the ability to have a system that you can onboard people with in an orientation, train them with in the beginning, and then continually train them over time so that they constantly improve. That is the difference between people who actually succeed at building a sales team and everyone else who struggles with it. And, I struggled with it for a long, long time personally. And it wasn't until I built out the system and started to really teach it to my people that I was able to get traction and then remove myself from sales.
Sweet. Mark, we got some really, really good questions coming in here. What's the best way to develop a sales booklet for your potential customer?
I think the best way is to begin by wanting to be a consultant and trying to take off your company hat and think about it in terms of what you need as a prospect, what you need as a residential homeowner, and start to determine what you're going to. People buy from people they like and trust. So what are the things that you're going to do that are going to differentiate you so that you are the most credible, so that you are listening the best, so that you're able to find out what they really need? What, everybody is saying they want to have their house painted, but what do they really want? What is their accomplish list? What are the things behind that surface of, hey, I want to paint something, that really matter to them most? So if you can put on the consultant hat and try to sit on their side of the table and determine what's going to be high value, low risk for them, that's the beginning of building your system. And that's what my system is based on.
Yeah, one of the things I like about Mark, I think I'm reasonably good at sales. I don't think I'm terrible at sales. Mark's really good. So every time I sit down with this guy, sit down with the guy. I'm just going to tell you guys that, right? So another one said, I keep getting underbid for jobs that I know I'm giving good prices on.
So
no one's ever been underbid. This is a completely unique situation.
So this is going to sound simple the way I say it, but what has to happen is you have to create high value. And so people buy things from people they like and trust at the moment when the perceived value to them is higher than the price point. So why does someone buy a Maserati rather than a Kia? Because for them, the value of having the Maserati exceeds the price point of the Maserati. So when you're selling paint jobs, does the value of what you're bringing to them exceed the price that you're putting out there? So how do you do that? You do that by listening to their needs, solving their problems, and explaining how you're the solution. Three painters may come in and all do the exact same thing, but if I can describe what I'm doing in such a way that it solves your needs and it creates high value, low risk, I will sell it at a higher price point. So it's a great question, but it's a super loaded question because you have to take my system and implement it to be able to do that.
Yeah. So someone asked, Mark, do you use a particular framework in your sales process that you teach your salespeople? Answer is yes.
Yes. And it's really dialed in from we have a 3-week onboarding that we do that is video in classroom and also in the field. And then it's an ongoing weekly management and training that happens. And if you're in tier 1, which is like basically beginner people that are in the first year or two and on the team, they have daily, we call it drilling, but drills that we do based on the system, which allows them to practice things like listening to audio, doing flashcards, and doing very specific role plays. It's once you see what this entails as an owner, you'll probably realize that other people should be doing it. And I say that with the greatest degree of kindness, because to be a professional salesperson is an all-out effort, 55 hours a week plus of really trying to be great if you want to be a masterful elite salesperson. And most owners don't want to be that, and myself included. And so it's about getting that person and cultivating them to be excellent, just like you would a crew leader. You want to cultivate a crew leader when he's 22, and when he's 42, he's still working for you and he's making more money and doing more, and he's masterful at his craft. That it's the same thing with salesmanship, but you have to plug them into a great system and then continuously coach them. So the more you see my stuff, the less you're going to want to do it yourself. If you're an owner who wants to get out of that hourglass.
The systems scale, guys. So you can try to figure this out yourself. You can try to become a sales expert. Then you can try to document it all, and you can take this multi-year approach, or you can sync up with Mark, who's been doing this for decades, and just take his approach and employ. He's offering a 10-day free trial and a 30-minute strategy session with him. So you get to talk with Mark, not someone on his team, for free. Email him directly, mark@mdfpainting.com, with the subject line Sales Superstar. Mark, we have another really interesting question here. So once you've built a sales team, what's the best way to keep pushing into more commercial work and land larger projects?
Well, in my opinion, people that prospect for commercial work are different than people that close residential jobs. So the skill set and the natural personality styles that have the most success at being able to knock on a homeowner's door, a prospect's door, get to know them, and 90 minutes later leave with a 25% deposit on a $20,000 job. That is a different skill set. It's a different system. It's a different structure. It's a different personality driven employee than the one that can go out there and land commercial jobs. So if you already are well established in residential, it's about opening up a different job description that, yes, they could be part of your sales team and your sales room, but they're going to operate with different SOPs and they're going to operate differently.
Love that. Guys, email Mark. He's going to sit down with you, 30-minute strategy session. He'll answer all these questions and more. He's also going to give you a 10-day free trial to his system. So you're going to get to see everything that he teaches. You're going to get to know whether or not it's a fit for you. This is risk-free for you. And worst case scenario, you're going to learn a bunch of stuff that you can use yourself. So 10-day free trial, 30-minute strategy session with Mark for free. Email him at mark@mdfpainting.com with the subject line Sales Superstar. Mark, brother, thank you for joining, man.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate you as always. And if anyone wants any type of help or just feedback, please reach out. It is the 30 minutes is with me. It's not a sales pitch. I listen to what you're struggling with. You know, people ask me all the time, what do I do and say when the person says I had